Is Julian Newman really the basketball prodigy we once thought? What happened to the young phenom who captured the internet with his flashy moves and scoring prowess? As his career progresses, it's becoming increasingly clear that the hype might have been just that, hype. In this article, we'll dive deep into Newman's recent struggles, dissect what went wrong, and explore whether there's still hope for him to turn things around. Get ready for a candid look at the rise and apparent fall of Julian Newman. Julian Newman has become one of the most controversial figures in basketball, facing relentless criticism online for nearly a decade due to his questionable performance on the court and his polarizing personality off it. Now, he finds himself playing at the Division I level, but the reality is far from the triumphant return many had hoped for. Bethesda, where he's currently playing, is an NCCAA institution, not part of the NCAA, and the level of competition is significantly lower than what one might expect. Despite having the freedom to take as many shots as he likes, Newman's still struggling to average even a single point per game. Over the years, we've witnessed some of his most infamous moments, from bouncing the ball off opponents' heads to confrontations with teammates, and it's hard to believe his college experience could turn out this poorly. Julian Newman has undergone a remarkable transformation, becoming almost unrecognizable from his elementary school days. Initially, it was an incredible story to see him playing on a high school varsity team. However, as we delved deeper into his background, it became clear that there was more to the narrative. With his father as the coach, one has to wonder if there truly wasn't a more qualified player in the entire school system than an 8-year-old. The whole Julian Newman phenomenon seemed more like a gimmick than actual talent. He thrived on the court against some of the weakest competition, taking full advantage of the situation. As time went on, it became evident that he wasn't just a gifted young athlete, he had a less than pleasant demeanor. From trash talking to fights and even bouncing basketballs off opponents' heads, Newman was far from the likable figure he was portrayed to be. Videos began to circulate online, showcasing him facing tougher competition and receiving the consequences of his actions. Julian Newman grew up in the limelight, evolving from a self-assured young talent into someone perceived as overly arrogant, despite his years of dedication to improving his skills. However, his progress in basketball began to stagnate, as there's only so many flashy dribble moves one can rely on before they lose their effectiveness. Similarly, the number of poor shot selections he could make before people grew tired of his tricks was limited. By high school, his impressive scoring average of over 30 points per game looked good on paper, but the reality behind those figures soon became obvious. Playing for a small private school under his father's coaching, Newman had the freedom to take questionable shots, accumulating hollow statistics against weaker opponents. While his style was captivating for social media highlights, it was marked by inefficiency and frequent turnovers, designed more for Instagram than for genuine competition. Despite possessing more skill than many of his peers, 3 significant weaknesses hindered his chances of achieving his NBA aspirations. His small stature at 5'6", coupled with his abrasive behavior and questionable basketball intelligence, led to a fast decline in his reputation. By the time the basketball community took notice, Newman had transitioned from a viral phenomenon to one of the most mocked players in high school basketball. Scouts showed little interest in a 5'6" guard who struggled to adapt to competitive play, regardless of his online popularity. College programs overlooked him, leaving the Newmans in search of their next steps, with no viable path to the NBA. The family decided to leverage Julian's internet fame, prompting Jamie Newman, Julian's father, to orchestrate a media strategy. The family launched a clothing line and their own reality show, an awkward attempt to replicate the success of Ball family. However, unlike the Ball family, who had the talent to support their story, the Newmans did not. The show gained notoriety for its loud, exaggerated moments, with Jamie desperately trying to maintain relevance, while Julian's on-court plays, including disputes with teammates and reckless play, only solidified the public's negative view of him. The clothing line and reality show appeared to be little more than attempts to cash in, featuring overpriced and low-quality merchandise that failed to connect with fans. What could have been a chance for redemption for Julian turned into a heartbreaking horror, as a once promising young talent became a mere shadow of his former self. Observing the Newman family's struggle to maintain relevance felt like witnessing a slow-motion disaster. The passion for basketball that initially inspired Julian to pursue the sport seemed overshadowed by the chaos and drama of manufactured fame. After graduating high school in 2020, Julian Newman essentially embraced the influencer lifestyle, participating in random games showcased in online videos. Many believed this would define the end of his basketball journey. However, to everyone's surprise, 4 years post-high school, Julian Newman is now a 23-year-old freshman playing college basketball. Julian Newman's decision was relatively unknown to many, and his dedication to basketball was largely under the radar. Those who were aware of him were uncertain about his decision to join a team for the first time after several years. However, he appeared quite self-assured before the season began. The journey to his first game was a lengthy one, and there were high expectations for him to score big. Unfortunately, during his debut, Newman did not achieve the anticipated 40 points. Instead, in just 6 minutes of play, he attempted 3 shots but failed to score any points. At this stage, his college basketball journey was not off to a promising start, and the feedback on his game day vlog was harsh. Comments ranged from urging him to reconsider his basketball aspirations to outright telling him to pursue other interests. Some even pointed out the age discrepancy, suggesting he was too old to be a freshman. Despite having a rough outing, one might wonder how poorly he performed. In his next game against Cal State Bakersfield, Newman played for 15 minutes, missed all 3 of his field goal attempts, and similarly failed to score from beyond the arc. He ended the game with just 3 points, all from free throws, along with 1 assist, no rebounds, steals, or blocks. His team suffered a significant defeat, losing by 69 points, with a final score of 122-53. Newman's performance over the season has been disappointing, especially considering the time he's had away from the spotlight. If you thought he would have improved, you'd be mistaken. He's still struggling significantly. With his father not coaching him, he seems to have found another mentor who allows him to dribble aimlessly before taking poor shots at the college level. If you enjoy watching this kind of play, you might be interested to know that in his game against Southern Utah, Newman played 15 minutes and was slightly more aggressive, scoring 6 points. However, he shot only 3 for 12 from the field, missed all 6 of his 3-point attempts, and failed to make any of his 3 free throws, contributing to a blowout loss. It's clear he's just getting garbage time minutes, showcasing ineffective dribble moves and desperate shots. In his next game against Utah Tech, things got even worse. He played just 6 minutes, went 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, and 0 for 2 from the free throw line, finishing with no points, 2 rebounds, and 1 steal in a 31-point loss. To summarize, his team has lost every game he's participated in by an average of 53 points. In those excursions, Newman has shot a mere 12% from the field, is 0 for 17 from 3-point range, and has only managed 3 for 9 from the free throw line. His averages stand at just 3 points, 2 rebounds, and less than 1 assist per game. Many who believe that Newman's high school career was underwhelming were correct. It's evident that this guy is not ready for the lowest collegiate level. Julian Newman's college journey has gotten off to a rocky start. His team's struggling, and despite his evident dedication to practice, he seems to have focused on the wrong aspects of the game. His basketball IQ leaves much to be desired, leading many to question how he spent his time in the sport. Following his performance, it appears that Newman's spectacle is nearing its end. This situation not only poses challenges for the university, but also sheds light on a larger issue within college basketball today. Players like Newman often receive opportunities due to their social media presence and the hype surrounding them. His reputation has been built on highlight reels and dramatic moments, which, while they may draw attention, do not guarantee success on the court. Newman gained fame for poor basketball and continues to struggle with his character, clashing with teammates and taking ill-advised shots. This behavior is poorly reflected in the American youth basketball system. Newman embodies the idea that in today's basketball scene, hype doesn't necessarily equate to talent, highlighting the destructive effects of social media on the game.